Hi, everybody. My name's Anthony Brown, and I am looking forward to working with each of you in group counseling. And I have to tell you first off that this is a bit unique for me. I haven't worked in a video setting or recording videos since my last few days or months in the Air Force when we had to record scenarios with trainees, which I'll talk about here in just a bit. This is unique for me, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm not really nervous, but it's just different seeing yourself on the camera. But I do get to look at your videos, and I've seen most of your videos. And some of the names I recognize and remember from the previous semester, although we were communicating via typing and instant messaging and things like that. This is different. So looking forward to it. So we're all going to interact and understand the significance of group counseling and how it works. It should be interesting. But as for me, I go by Anthony, not Tony, but I prefer Anthony. But if you call me Tony, I'm not going to be upset. But I do prefer Anthony, just so you know. I am retired. I served 21 years, just over 21 years in the Air Force. I retired as a Master Sergeant, which is an E7. I had several different occupations while I was in. My first few years, I was a nuclear weapons specialist, in which I got to work with nuclear weapons, both on bombers, type aircraft, and on the ground in different places that were secret. I can't tell you. Well, I could, but I'm not. So anyway, it was being funny. Followed that up, I was an air traffic controller for quite a few years. I worked in both the tower and a radar setting. I actually loved that job because it was high pace, fast pace, high tempo. It was an adrenaline rush. It was never the same, never boring. Quite an awesome job. Not to mention the fact that I got a stipend or a reenlistment bonus every time I reenlisted, so it was quite nice. But my last 6 years or so, I was a drill instructor at Lackland Air Force Base and basically got to train trainees, as we call them in the Air Force. I know other services refer to them differently, but we call them trainees in basic training. They were there for 8 weeks and got to work with them on a one-on-one basis, teaching them how to march, teaching them about drill, Air Force history or military history, esprit de corps, things like that, and basically got to interact with them quite a bit. So, there were cases where trainees would not be doing so well. I'd have to get involved with them to see what was going on, kind of sit down with them one on one and determine what was going on. And it was during those times when I sat down with them that I learned some things as far as what was bothering them, why they weren't progressing, things like that. And it often went back to stuff from their past. So had to figure that out, and some got over it and progressed and graduated, while others did not. So there was things holding them back that they couldn't progress, and just the tempo of basic training and the stress that was involved, they couldn't go further. So that's just the nature of what it was. But as I look up on rehabilitation counseling and what's involved, and in the last semester talking about Freud and Adler and those things, it kind of brought me back to basic training and what was involved there, and the things that we all suppress or keep hidden or within ourselves. And it just got me to understanding what this is all about. Now, I'm not saying that this program is kind of that, but it's significant, and I can draw from that experience to help me to move on. So I'm looking forward to it. But after the Air Force, I retired. I actually took a position with FedEx. There was a training program that right after I retired, literally the next day, I got on with FedEx and I worked with them for 2 years. It was a great job. Got to do some training. And while I was working in FedEx, I came across one of the schools that I worked with. I had a friend who was a vice principal at one of the schools offer me a position there as a teacher, a math teacher. So I subsequently left FedEx, took the job as a teacher, a math teacher, and got into the school system, which I also tutored math. So I did that for a while, kind of liked it, took a leave of absence to finish up some degrees, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. And that was that. So while I was out, I took some transfer courses, finished up my degree. I actually have two bachelor's degrees from Embry-Riddle. One of those degrees is in aeronautics, and the other degree, and I actually started aeronautics some years ago, and the other degree is in business management, in which I minored in finance. So look forward to that. That worked well for me, and then I decided by talking to my VRC about this particular program, the MRC, and he suggested, because he knew about my past as a drill instructor and all that, and suggested that I look at it, which I did. I took some time to look at it. I looked at Texas Tech's program. I looked at University of Arkansas at Little Rock's program, and I wanted to do something in California, but there was really nothing that kind of interested me there, so I kept coming back to this, and I decided to take on the program, which obviously started in the fall. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to working with each of you and to see how this thing goes. I'm still a little torn about whether or not I'm going to do the 48-hour or the 60-hour program. I understand what's involved, and been talking to my advisor, and just not quite sure yet how I'm going to proceed. Initially, my intentions were to fast track the program, to take as many courses as I can per semester, and then get out and get started within the career field. But I understand what's involved now with the LPC portion of it being added, and I'm kind of leaning towards that. So again, I'm not divided. I don't know where you guys are as far as what you want to do, but I'm still not quite there yet. So I'm sure we'll talk about that during the term and our off time or whatever, and we can just see how that goes. Again, just as far as me, just hobby-wise, I like to just do outdoor stuff. You can see behind me, I have bikes. There's drums behind me, guitars. I play guitar, I play bass guitar, I play drums. I've played drums forever. Road bikes, my family, we cycle a lot just to kind of get out of the house. We take vacations. We try to take 2 a year. Last year, in the late part of last year, we drove to Mount Rushmore, and on that same trip, we drove to Toronto, Ontario, all in one big trip. We were gone for about 12 days, and we just kind of hit the road. Before that, the year prior, or actually in 2014, we went to San Diego. Had a great time there, and just we're looking forward to it. This year, we're going to try to go to Las Vegas, Hoover Dam, and the Grand Canyon all in one big sweep. So we just like to get out and do stuff, just to try to stay fit, and just to do things that keep us out of the house. So my family's a big supporter of what I'm doing. They respect what I'm doing, and we just kind of encourage each other. And that's kind of how that goes. As far as the program itself, just from reading the descriptions early on, well, this course anyway, for counseling, I understand by the name it's going to be group counseling. We're going to get to interact with one another. But my initial thought is it's going to be kind of like an intervention type thing, where we may use each other as in different type scenarios to try to figure out what's going on, or maybe we'll be given scenarios as far as how to proceed with different things. But that's my initial interpretation of what it could be. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm looking forward to it. But you know, most of us are have some experience in it. I read some of your bios, and each of us brings something to the table. So it's going to be interesting. I think we all have different perspectives on how it's going to proceed, how it's going to go. And again, I'm looking forward to doing that. As far as goals and expectations, again, it goes back to what I just said. I'm just, I mean, obviously, Dr. D told us not to talk about graduating, but that is a goal. I think we all want to graduate. But a goal is to just kind of take in a group setting, which with us, when we become comfortable with each other, we'll be used to each other. It'll be a bit easier, but once we do graduate, once we do move on, and once we have our own clients, it's going to be different, because we're going to be starting fresh with clients that we don't know their backgrounds, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge, because, you know, we all took and focused on our theoretical orientation last semester, trying to learn what that was about. Reading about Freud and Adler and some of the other theorists and what they brought to the table. And I don't know what your experience was, but mine, I was kind of conflicted, because when I thought I was on board with one of the ones, like for example, when I read about Adler, I was pretty much in tune with what he was thinking. And then concept reality kicked in, or reality therapy kicked in, and I kind of changed and said, okay, I can kind of see where this is going. So I have a feeling that this is going to be similar, where we all interact and just kind of figure out and kind of bounce things off each other and get some ideas, all for the good of learning how to focus on a group setting where it's not going to be classmates, it's going to be clients. And again, they're going to be presenting whatever it is they're dealing with, and we have to try to be somewhat of a problem solver. So it's going to be unique in that area. And then a goal of that would be to kind of be in that environment and be comfortable with it. So I think, in my opinion, that's going to be what an ultimate goal is going to be. And I think this course is going to be a springboard to that, take a little bit of the edge off as far as dealing with clients in that type of setting. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, again, working with each of you. And I know, Dr. D, your background is this. I'm sure it's going to go well. You're going to teach us well. We're going to have fun. You did say in your video that that you're tough. So I expect that. I like writing, although I don't like writing a whole lot. So I know there's going to be some papers involved and things like that. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to moving on, again, with each of us working with each other for another semester. And those that I didn't meet the previous term, for us to get to know each other. And I think as the semesters progress, we'll become more comfortable with each other. And when new terms start up, we'll kind of already know each other's bio, where we can just kind of glance at it and see what changed. I know some of you said you were engaged. I don't remember if anyone was having a baby, but I know engagement. Some people were moving, things like that. So that's just life. Looking forward to it. So that's pretty much it for me. I can't really think of anything else. I hope this video has been informative for you. And once again, I look forward to meeting each of you. And while we are in the video sessions, kind of bouncing things off each other, reading some more of your bios tonight. And I think I might have read them all, but there may be a few that I've missed. I apologize for posting this late. I actually went through a couple different versions of this because I just didn't like the way it was presented. I wanted it to be as factual and informative, and it had a good flow to it. So I think this one might be the one. So I'm sure you'll give me some feedback when you read it. We can all laugh about it later and kind of go from there. So again, thank you for watching. Look forward to talking to each of you throughout the course, and hope you all have a great time. Thanks again.